Okay, good. You're live. All right, everybody. I'm live. Let me get my iPad going. A little early. Excuse this mess. I got a lot going on. Let me get my iPad here. I was supposed to have this place all cleaned up by now, but I didn't. It's wicked cold outside. I got a lot of stuff a lot of this stuff that's got to go outside so I can really do a good job cleaning it. Got a lot of buckets to open up, a lot of fermenting bins to open up today. And let me try to find myself here. Your videos. Oh, there he is. He's live here. Let's turn him on. Let me try to find myself here. All right. Do I gotta? Oh my God! Disaster back there. All right. So, got my iPad here, and let me turn this down so you don't have to hear that. And we've got a ton of bins we're going to open up today. I'll put this over here like this, like that. And what the heck, if I got to do it, why not just do it live and you guys can be a part of it. All my videos and stuff like that are, I have an iPad and I have an iPhone. That's all I use. One day I'll get an updated computer. I do have a computer. But I don't use it as much thanks to the iPad. All right, so tons. Back here is my fermenting system. I got a lot of spare buckets over here that are just there because I brought some soil in for my garden in the other room. I have a garden in there. It's not, I don't want to call it aquaponics. I can't call it aeroponics. It's using soil, but it's the Dutch buckets system that I'm just experimenting with my plants, my tomato plants. I'm already started growing with them. So let me take you guys over here and show you just some of the stuff. If I can get this off the magnet that it's on. All right, let's try to talk about this system here. Vernmenting, right? Vernmenting system. All right, what are these things? All right, so we got 3 skids. No, 1, 2, 3, 4 skids, and over here is another smaller little system on its own. This right here, 1, 2, 3. That is my personal outputs there. I juggle 3 buckets. One person juggles 3 buckets once a month. I fill a bucket and I put it in there in this system right here. And by the time the month is done, maybe even a month and a week, the worms have turned all that stuff into worm castings. It's amazing. These right here, I think we're definitely going to have 16 buckets right here. These are all dated 1/22. I think today's the 26th. So, all right, and I've got some food scraps here. I just want to touch upon how I handle them. This is my worm food that basically in our kitchen, we have this bucket, and when it's full, I bring it downstairs. This little tutorial's for my wife because she always wonders what happens after we put the organics in there. This has been all new for us, not brand new. We've been doing it for probably, I've been doing it for, let's say 7 years now. So it's not really new, but it was new when we first started. And my wife she's very good at it. And when I tell her everything, she puts napkins and anything you could think of, we put it in this bucket. And this is what happens to my wife here. This is basically what happens. It's gross work. It can be gross work. It's not gross to me per se, but because I see the end results, what it turns out to be, ultimately, it's just awesome worm castings, right? So, and the more castings I can get, because my outside soil base, as we said with my CBCB, that duff, it's just my outside carbon, the leaves and stuff. And this liquid slurry, as many of you know who follow my channel, is what gets poured on top of that carbon. So that's the nitrogen. It's kind of amazing in its own right. So that's basically my soil base. So we got this here like that. Now I'm going to dump this into here and get all the liquid out of it. All right, flies, name it. This had a little stuff in it anyway to begin with. That's probably why it filled up so fast. But that's basically it. Then I'll get a card here. And I usually wipe my hands with newspaper, and then throw it into a next worm bin that I'm going to be working on. Everything, folks. So let me get my card here. Excuse me, my wrench. And then I just put it in this bucket here like that. Right? And so flowers, chicken bones, there's all kinds of stuff. It's so rewarding to know that all this heavy weight is not going into the trash. Then I just go like this, and then I'll cover it. And I'll let it sit here probably for a couple days, sometimes a week at a time, so no bugs can get in it. And then once all the liquid comes out of it, once all the liquid is kind of drained, I'll chop it up in another bucket with a flat-ended oar, and it kind of looks like this. Here, what's down there? No, that's not this one. These are composting balls. These are, oh, here, look, you can't see it. These are composting balls right here. Tons of compost in here with worm castings. I bury these within my grow towers. So the beauty about an eave tower, as many of you know who follow my channel, it's already in a fenced area anyway. So when you put your compost within that tower, the worms will turn it into castings, and no animals can necessarily get in it. You'd have to literally jump on top of the pile. And my dog certainly has never done that. And she will sniff out. I've planted them in my garden or in a grow pot, a composting ball, and I'll come back after and it'll be all devastated. Bummer, right? So this is the one I wanted to really show you. We still live? Yeah, it looks like we are. 7 minutes. I don't know how long it's going to be, folks. But since I got to work down here, I might as well shoot a video. I don't know if I keep them up. See, that's basically what it looks like. And we'll probably, that's when it's all said and done. I cap it like this in case any bugs have gotten in. They will smother in here and they'll become worm castings as well. Nothing wasted. All will be sacred. So this basically here is like the valve, up and down, right? And sometimes I'll even cap this while it's waiting so no bugs can go inside there. They'll sneak in there, but... And then again, this liquid goes, all this liquid is as precious as the solids because that's going to be poured onto our CBCB, our carbon-based composting bin. And these buckets here, right, all these three here, not this one, this is not this one, but these three here is all liquid like this, ready to go outside. It's too cold right now. It's been cold for a couple weeks, so I've been building up on that. So anyways, we're going to be dealing with this side here. We have, all these are 122. I did a live video with these packing. I don't know if it's private or if it's open for everybody. But these 122, 22, wow. Boy, it's going to be crazy when it's 222, 22, isn't it? So I got 16 here. 129 doesn't need to be open today. 26, 129. These can all be opened next month. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you guys back over here. And I'm going to start retrieving some buckets. Make sure my phone doesn't fall off. Hopefully my furnace won't go on. If it does, I'll shut it off the moment it does. And hopefully I don't get a phone call. I didn't set my phone up in advance. And let's see if we got anybody here in the room. I don't see anybody in the room, but that's okay. We're still going to do our work. We're going to be here probably about an hour and something because we've got a lot to open up, as I've said. And we're going to give you a sense of, I said in my Facebook feed, I said it's nerve-wracking because what the stuff I pack in these little bins, sometimes each one is its own little terrarium type thing, right? Its own little underground world. And the beauty about fermenting and going into little small spaces and having many of them together is you can experiment with so many different things for these reds, so many ways to experiment with them with different materials. And as you know, those of you who follow my channel, you've know I've been experimenting with everything, and so far with great results. You don't want that thermophilic action to happen, the heating up that can happen. I think I've got that down, but I worry about that sometimes when I'm in a rush and I pack it a certain way. Let me go get one and we'll start there. And again, I want you to excuse this mess. Very cold, icy outside right now. All these tables and stuff are going to go outside, and I'm just going to finally get my tools in order. You know, in the wintertime, I'm down here. In the summertime, I'm outside, and then I have a back shed, and tools go back and forth, and I just don't have a place where I could work in this particular yard where everything is right in one spot at any given time. I should just have 3 sets of tools or actually 4 sets of tools in the individual places I'm working at, but that's an excuse. Oh yeah, you know what else I wanted to who the heck was I was thinking of? I gotta go to my Facebook feed here, guys, just to see something. Okay, let me go to my groups. Let's see. Kayla, I think it is, but let me make sure of that. Okay, I want to answer some of Kayla's questions. Is it Kayla? Yeah, I think it is. Kayla, thank you for participating. I don't know if you're in the room right now. You might be. Let me see. No, I don't see. I see Connecticut Worm and Garden. Hey, how's it going there? This question is for Kayla. What did she say? Let me find it on my Facebook again. I don't know if it's the Eve growing. So many damn groups that I have on that. But let's see here. I think maybe it was in my Eve growing group. Eve growing. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, maybe it was the tower. All right, right. Here we go. The tower garden here. I did my last video. Kayla asked some great questions on there. Now, where the heck are you? Maybe it's the first one. Let's see here. 5. And I want to give for Wayne Tadlock. I love this guy. Wayne is such a great guy. I've said this before in some of my videos. Wayne has been with me since the very beginning, and he stuck with me even when I was kind of not a very nice Facebooker on the other different groups I was in. Wayne has stuck by me true and true. All right, where's that question I'm looking for here? Before I go rambling on here, for sure. I don't know where it is. Let me see. She had 3 questions for me, and I did answer it, but not quite. I didn't answer the third one. Come on, where are you? I don't know where that one is. It should be right here. Oh, here it is. All right, sorry here. Okay, a few questions. I want to answer these questions, and I'll do individual videos and answer them as well. But Kayla says, okay, a few questions. Best place to source grow buckets. Here we go. Please grow. Best way, buckets, when you have buckets in your mind, on your mind, they will indeed come your way. And as I've said in that post right there, I got all mine in a dumpster. Sheetrock. People who are doing sheetrocking. Sheetrock buckets you can use. There's nothing toxic in it. And those are food grade, like most buckets are food grade, and they're 90 millimeter. Some of these buckets, like this bucket here, I've got some mint in this bucket here, and I have it here just to give you a sense of, I'm going to do a separate video on it, but I just wanted to give Kayla an answer to her question, because her last question that I didn't answer was, can you grow pumpkins and melons in a tower? And the answer is yes. And by many years of experimenting with Eve growing and how many plants can go into each bucket is important. Let me give you some different buckets here. Like this one here was a kale bucket. Wait, and this one has 8 holes, 4 up top, 4 down here. Kale, I've done 16 kales in a bucket. But for like a pumpkin, pumpkins suck up a lot of water, and you want to do just one pumpkin if you're going to experiment with pumpkin, watermelon. I've done zucchini squash in 1 bucket. I think I did zucchini in a 3-gallon bucket. If you look at some of my videos or pictures that I post in my Facebook group, I did a summer squash, zucchini squash, you know, not the ones that trail along. I did those in a 3-gallon bucket. So I don't recommend it, but I did get a zucchini out of it. I got a couple of them. And pumpkin I did 1 year, and it didn't do so good. It started really good, but for some reason around here, I get those damn cucumber beetles and those, what's the other ones that ruin my pumpkins look so beautiful, and then they just go bad. But for a pumpkin plant in a 6-gallon bucket or a 5-gallon bucket, I recommend doing it, especially the way these buckets are designed. And something that I touched upon in my very short video the last time was you got to make your own compost. You can't use your regular soil because you want it to flow through fast. And let me give you a sense of that. This is an older design bucket right here, and this is mint, right? All day long, this mint. I haven't had to do anything with this mint for easily a month. This was mint I had outside. I just happened to bury it in this bucket, put it in my basement, and it came up on its own. So I could do mint all day. I got enough mint in this 1 bucket. I don't have to grow any more mint. Mint is very invasive, and you know, very invasive when you have it in your garden. It'll take it over, and it's very hard to get rid of once you do it. So all day long, contain your garden with your mint. All right, let me just give you a sense of how this water flows through, how you want it to flow through. I got this here. Let me get another bucket here. I got a ton of buckets. And again, I got all mine from a dumpster. Now see, can you see? After you water this, the water is going to come up to here. So you'll have a reservoir right here with this particular design. So, and there's wicking material going up. So once I water this, and you can tell I haven't watered it in a while because no water is coming out. Well, it would be down here. I don't know where the level is. I got a new setup for a bucket where I can determine exactly where the water is here. We'll be shooting a video on that one. That one I'll be dedicating to Donnie, and I'll tell you why when I do that one, as I go all over the place here. But when you water, you want that water to flow right through the bucket. So important. And look there's a lot of water I'm pouring in here. Never, folks, ever does it clog. And that's so amazing. So, and that's why I can go vertically. I can go so many different ways to set up an eco-vertical evolution system using buckets. And now of course, you know that I use cylinders now, and there's so many ways to set this up. All the principles are the same. Let's see if I got a house plant around here somewhere that I could show you an example. Now they're upstairs, but you want to design it so the water flows right on through. And again, let's take a look at that water here. I'm pouring this through here. And the beauty of it is you could use the dirtiest water too, as long as it's all nothing toxic in it, which there wouldn't be, right? You can use the dirtiest water, that the dirt will stay on top. And let me get a sense of how it looks when it comes out. You think I'd be all prepared here. This bottle might give us a good example. Okay, that's all nutrient rich right there to be used on the next watering, right? All right, let me see here. Put my iPad and see who's in the room before. I'm going all over the place, I know. And I do got a lot of work to get done down here. Let me go to YouTube, go to this guy here. All right. All right, good. Connecticut Worm and Garden. I forget your name. I know I should know it, but I do follow her. And she's got that passion. She's got that red wiggler passion. Another one. So excited when somebody has a fascination for these heavenly creatures like that. I'm so grateful because they hold the secret of how to grow food, is that red wiggler. And these are all castings here. This stuff, how exciting is this here? Let me just show you. Lisa, hi Lisa. Nice to meet you. Well, we're going to hook up sometime as far as being so close, right? Don't know too many people from Connecticut. This right here, I don't know if you've seen the video on it, but this is, I was working on this. I was putting some house plants together. But this is the sifted. This is sifted after the fact. I don't know how good you could see that. And this was the my pet manures. And I had it, this should be tons of cardboard. There's a stone in there. I don't know why that is. But this was frozen solid right here outside in the bin. And there's a ton of this worm doesn't look too healthy. And I don't know why. But there was a ton of little dinky babies in there. Tons of babies. And it was frozen solid. And so I'm going to use this for my house plants. In fact, I'm not going to use it. I have already used it with some Canaan plants that I'll be posting some pictures on. So how amazing is that? Turning that type negative into something that at least grows, something you can at least look at. That's beautiful, you know. All right, let's get to opening up some bins. So this is a basic bucket, by the way. This design was similar to the one I posted already. The reason why I haven't posted, and I said this in that Facebook chat as well, why? Because I've been promising many people that I was going to show how I build these bucket towers. And the main reason why I haven't shown it yet is because I found out a new way we could do it without having to use plastics at all. So I have posted those type videos. My 2022 video towers I've already posted. But then I got to thinking, there is a purpose for these kind of towers, for the very least, to grow the mint or anything. There's a use for the bucket, right? So I got to do that video because I promised it way at the very beginning. And the main reason why I didn't stick to that promise is because I'm not a good open sourcer, guys. You know, I'm just... And here's an example with like my fermenting system. Way back when, I had a guy who had a composting, and you guys may have heard this story already, and I shouldn't let it interfere. But I posted my fermenting system, right? And this guy's a commercial composter, right? Never contributed anything to my Facebook group. And he says in a comment, he said, "Oh, this is great. I can't wait to improve it in my work." Right? I'm thinking to myself, well, no thank yous, no nothing. And I was kind of bummed about that. You know, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, you show your ideas to the world, which you want. You want people growing, for crying out loud. But we're a part of a system where we need to make money to do stuff, right? And so this particular tower garden, first of all, bucket garden tower, as I've said and I've mentioned in my second to the last video, looks exactly like the tower garden, right? And it could be easily manufactured by anybody. All you need is buckets. They already make buckets. You can get those if you get them in bulk, a dime a dozen, and it takes nothing to put the individual holes in it, right? And then the internal makeup, which is kind of a secret, but it's not a secret. I did do a video on that 2 years ago now. Granted, I've changed how I do the inner makeup of it, but it's still prevalent video. I've grown food in it. I did it in a couple Dutch bucket systems. So I'm going on 24 minutes and I haven't even opened a bin yet. But I want to touch about that and appreciate, I don't know why this is frozen here. Hopefully I'm still going live. Let's see what Lisa's saying here. I have a passion. I've been doing it since 1987. Wow, you're on, Lisa, you got it on me. Am I still going live here? Mine's frozen here on this one. But, oh my God, 1987. Good for you. I've been doing it since 1987. Wow, absolutely. Where are you? I'm in Plainville, Connecticut, right in the center. 12 miles outside of Hartford. Yeah. So Lisa, wow, that's exciting. Let's open a bin. Where am I here? I already took one down. Where are you? Here it is. Here it is right here. All right, here's our first bin. Let's get some stuff done here. What I see, you see. And let's see if I packed. This one should just have maybe old material. When you have old material and you open it up for the second run around, usually it's really good. Remember, I've had my problems with my scutterflies that hopefully they're going less and less. Each bin, as I've said, is like opening a Christmas present because you never know what you're going to see. And this one's got a lot of worms all around it. Now that could mean and a lot of scutterflies. You see all these scutterflies in there? Bummer. That's all right. I usually able to get rid of those. Sometimes I use a power vac. They don't go too far. And I've got some spiders down here, but there's way too many that I like. Let's take a look at this bin closely. That's not fun. And which is a bummer about that is I've always say that you can do this in your apartments and stuff, but people don't want freaking scutterflies flying around. And another point with this particular bin right here, it smells anaerobic. So that tells me this is the kind of stuff that I talk about that can be a bit embarrassing with fermenting. You know, I haven't had any major massive die-outs like I did when I first started doing fermenting in tight spaces like that. But this bucket smells, I haven't smelt one like this anaerobic in a while. So let me clean it out, this part out, and then we'll use it and pack it again. So sometimes I wonder, here's the deal. Living in New England, it gets very cold like it has been. Lisa knows it's been pretty darn cold out. Not much snow, but we've had some cold. And so you gotta, if you want to keep making or breaking down compost in the cold, it usually just stops. And that's fine too. If you got a compost bin and you're not looking to get a lot of castings or compost from it, you don't have to be a rush about it. Fermenting, I feel, is gets your stuff faster. I see a lot of scutterfly larvae, and look at this thing. Can you see that? See, this is a mess of one here. I didn't like that. And if I pack it with this, the next time I open it up, these guys are going to fly right out. So what I'm going to do with these guys is I'm going to put it in my liquid slurry, which I cap, and we'll compost these guys. I'll just throw the whole can in there and pick it up later. And they will die in there. And I'll compost them too. They are, as much as they are invasive. See, look at this, guys. I might as well be honest. This didn't do too good. Can you see a lot of area? Those guys were dead on there. Not good. Not happy. This bin was not a good one. So that's one down. Let's hope that's the only one. Why was it not good? Maybe it was all fresh material. Sometimes, you know, the holidays, we had some ham that I might have composted. And I know people are going to say, ham? What the hell are you doing? But yeah, I throw everything in it. Where's my newspaper? I don't know why my iPad's frozen. So I see two people in the room, but my iPad is frozen, but I see my camera still going. So that bin sucked. Excuse my French, but I really did. It was not fun at all. I didn't like that at all. And these were all 120, no, these were all 1222. So let's hope they're all not like that. See, now all these scutterflies that are still on there, and some other kind of maggot is on there too. I'm still gonna just put it in. I'm not gonna worry about it. this. Yeah, these poor guys didn't have a good time in here, sorry to say. And the chances are is because it was all new material, new compost. So what I'm going to do is, let's see here, I'm going to put, very wet, I'm going to put some cardboard like this around. Can you see that? Oh yeah, here we go. I'm going to put some cardboard like this around, minced cardboard. Try to soak up some of this juice. This happens for sure. I mean, here's a roll. They look like they're trying to get in and work on. This was not good at all. So I'm going to make sure I put like this on there. This roll they're all in. Can you guys see that? This one they're in. This one. If you live in the tropics, somewhere where you don't get, where it's not frozen, I probably, for myself, I probably wouldn't go through all this with the fermenting buckets and all that. I would probably just do these grow towers and bury these rolls right inside the towers. I'd have a bunch of them because I'd be growing all kinds of food. Maybe I'd have one just dedicated as a worm farm because that's all you need. All right. Let me go get another one and hope it won't be as bad as that one was. Bummer. Okay. All right. First of all, aren't all these worms? There's a worm in here. I'm going to just pour that right in there like that. Get this out of the way. This out of the way. This doesn't need to be here. Such a mess, Modiki. This like that. Get my card. Let's open another one. What I see, you see. Let me check my iPad. I don't know why my, let's see here. Oh, there we go. You're in Plainville too? Lisa, come on. That's great. Dale, I know where that is. That's crazy. Providence. Well, Lisa, you're that close? My God, that's great news. Anything you need, I'm here. So I don't see as many scutterflies in this one, but I do see some. I do see some. Now this one, but this one smells a lot less anaerobic for sure. Clean that one out. Put this over here like this. This like this. A lot of parts that can be a pain in the bum. We have so many parts. I think I got to go upstairs and let my dog. This one's going to be a good one. This is a good one. Oh, wait a minute here. Put it like that. This one's a good one. I think. There we go. Look at this one. It's got a lot of. I've been putting my whole garden. I've been feeding my whole tomato plants and green grasses. And I forgot. I don't know what this is right here. This is probably grass of some kind. But I've been throwing my whole yard. If it's green, I've been turning it into castings like this, like I'm doing right here. It's a little bit faster, I think, and the end result is castings. Now, I see a lot of springtails in here, which is normal because it is kind of damp. Don't mind that myself. But this one, it did pretty good. Look at all those worms, loving all that little spot in there. This one I'm very pleased with, if I don't say so myself. And again, I'm not in any great rush to get some castings right now. So I see some scutterfly larvae. All right, all this goes right in here like this. Boom. Chicken bones. You know, what's that one? That one is that is a rib with a sap beetle on it. See this guy here? I've been reducing them guys, but you know what? Again, it's all part of it. You know, that's a lot of people would be grossed out doing this kind of stuff. But I got to tell you, folks, it might be very important. And guess what? Here's something I was thinking about. Let me move this all around. If I'm doing it on my stuff, but you still, when you put it in the trash, it's still gross, and still somebody's got to deal with it. And the people who are dealing with it in today's world are doing all the wrong things with it. All these organics, they're just doing the wrong thing. Now, see, all the worms that I had in that grass and stuff like that, that's going to be enough. That's going to be enough, and all these other worms will be put into new material. These worms that we're dealing with, that anaerobic bucket, the last one, mix this around like that. Hopefully they're saying, finally. Peanuts. I have a feeling. All right. Okay, I'm not seeing any cocoons. I'm seeing all kinds of scutterflies within it. The one thing about the scutterflies is they're very easy to catch. You know, just have a jar of vinegar or something like that. They'll go in it. And eventually, if my spiders down here don't get them, a little pumpkin trying to grow. If my spiders don't get them, we will compost them. That's for sure. Right here is this is another bucket. I have a Canaan plant in this one. And this was another older design. I have a different design. This one's old like this one is. Canaan plant in this one. And my Canaans, you know, here in New England, you have to bring your Canaans in because it's really a tropical plant. And I brought mine all in. All my canings, the green part of it, of course, are all in these buckets. And I had a ton of green, and I'm turning that into castings as well. But the caning, Canaan plant itself, the root, I've been experimenting. Now I've got like 8 buckets upstairs in my living room. They're doing beautifully. They're coming up. It looks like a tropical paradise with them around. All right, I got some questions here, I think. Lisa, all right. Can you please? Yes, I will do that. I'll do that, Lisa. I'm so excited. You're in Plainville. Totally. Yeah, totally. Life feeding life. Yeah. Oh my God, that's exciting news. To hear that you're right here in Plainville. What the heck are the odds of that? All right, let's open another one. Oh my God, I don't know why I thought you might have been somewhere like past Waterbury is what I had pictured. Never thought Plainville. I think my son's upstairs. Hopefully you let the dog in. It's very cold out. I hear somebody up there. And my furnace didn't come on yet, and it is on. That's kind of unusual too, because it is cold out. Anyway, what are we doing here? This one's almost packed full. Let's open another one. Where is it? Had it here. Oh my God, so many buckets, right? All right, what I see, you see. Come on, scutterflies, be less. This is our third, right? Third bucket. All right, I don't see too many in there. And this spring, I plan on going through all these buckets and changing all the screens. Been many years now since I've done that. These screens have been working, and I get so lazy about it. But that's this one. This one looks like it might be a good one. Little bit of a anaerobic smell. And when I say an anaerobic smell, It's like the smell you get in the flats when you go towards the beach and you see the low tide. That kind of smell is what it smells like. And this is the bottom can. I don't see any ones that look pretty bad, so that wasn't a bad bucket. You know, when I first started doing Vernmenting many years ago, I would go 2 months without opening them and letting it. And then I just realized 2 months is a little too long with certain material, especially fresh material. Because a lot of times I'm like, wow, I wish I would have got it sooner. So these days, I contend it takes 8 weeks for compost to go through its cycle. So I open up every month now and just if nothing's finished, I just put it right back into the next bin. And I pack my bins a lot loosely. I won't be packing too many bins today, I don't think. But I pack them very loosely as well. Like before, when I first started, I'd pack a bunch of composting rolls and I'd pack as many as I can in there. And it wasn't good. Now I loosely pack them so a lot of aeration can get in there. So let's get back to work here, Marky. What do we got? Where are the worms here? They're there. And all this material goes over here. You guys go in here. I'll clean these buckets out after the fact. Or no, I'll have to clean one out to use it again. All day long with these egg cartons and stuff like that. Just throw it in there. All right. This one's almost full, or it is full. And what's good to do too, and I guess I will be doing it here too, is but when you put in all old material in there, that's when it's a good idea to put a couple fresh composting rolls, because you kind of inoculated the bucket first with all the old stuff with worms that are already established. And then you add a couple composting rolls, which in their own right hold a lot of compost when you think of it being all minced and stuff like that. So that's this one. I'm going to cap this guy and we'll date it after the fact. But he's full enough. Put this guy over here. And then we'll get this one here and we'll clean it. Again, these buckets, literally, I think they got to be at least 8 years old. And they've been out in the cold. And they're still in good shape. Look, when you press it like this, you can't, with a box store bucket, when you do that, it'll crumble on you. Let me check the screens on these. These look like all new screens. All right. I don't have to clean it out that good, because guess what? I'm going to put it together right now. Where's my subfloor for that? What did I do? Let me use this guy here. Nothing takes nothing. Use what you have, folks. Newspaper. I don't get the newspaper, but I have a couple. My mother-in-law has the paper come still, and one of her friends. So shout out to my mother-in-law for, first of all, for all that wonderful compost she reluctantly gives me. She thinks it's gross. I'm going to call you out right now, Ma. She thinks it's so gross. And I tell her, you know, would you rather have it just go in the trash? She says, yeah, I don't want to see it. But she doesn't have to see it. We just put it in a bucket that's outside the house for her. Ours here at our house, we put it right by our kitchen. At her house, we have to put it on the porch because we had to hide it from her for a while. Then she found out. She's okay with it, so I want to thank her. She's got a great heart, great soul. So she gets me my newspaper, and her friend Mim, a plug for Mim Sullivan, her friend, she makes sure she gives me hers. I collect hers every 3 weeks or so. She'll call me and say, Mark, I got some paper for you. I got a ton of it. And, you know, each time, I always worry about the ink with paper, with the ink in it. But I've been reassured from the links I've gone on, some college links as well, university links. as well, and it assures you that this food there's food ink, food like this stuff here has got too much. I'll recycle that. I'll put that in the bin. But I use this kind of newspaper all day long and think nothing of it. Even the funnies, colored funnies, anything that has wax on it, I don't use. Let's put a couple fresh rolls in this one here. And what do I have? I think I have some. Let's see here. What's in this bucket? Oh, that bucket here. Can you see? Oh, you guys can't see that. That was another slurry bucket. Oh my God, Mom. Enough buckets? Where the hell is that? Oh, I know where it is. It's in a smaller bucket. It's in this bucket here. This was, let's see. Let's just throw a couple of this on here. What's in here? Yeah, this was gross. I'll just throw that right there like that. Boom. That's a lot of compost right there, believe it or not. I've got some worm castings mixed in with it because I was making composting balls. Great. Those composting balls, I should shoot a video on there, but when you're doing composting balls, there's a certain way to do them where they're not too moist. They're kind of on the dry side. And mold grows on them, or mycelium grows on the outskirts. And that's just a great way to throw those right into your flower pots and into your gardens. And I have no water down here. So basically all my stuff has got to be, I don't have an active sink down here. So basically, I have to be frugal of that. And that has taught me that, it's, I don't need it, really. I don't need a water supply because everything can be reused. I don't want anything going down the drain down here like that. So it teaches me to be frugal with water and at the same time, knowing that I need to use it for my CBCB. All right, what are we at? We got a new bin. We got to go get another one. I'm not going to need this. I'm going to put that there like that. I squirm down here like this. I always look at my videos. After the fact and I say, oh my God, everybody's probably watching, seeing that poor worm. Is he going to step on it? Is he going to do something with it? All right, Lisa, let's hear. Yeah, me too. Yeah, soil-based, that's what I hear, which of course means GMO, well, but at least it's not as toxic. Yeah, right. Yeah, a lot of stuff with the stuff we do. Oh, brother, I don't even know where to go with it. Oh, let me get this guy here. Yeah, I'm mindful of a lot of the, toxicity and stuff, but as you could tell, the stuff that I compost, Lisa, ham is probably a definite no to a lot of people, but I do it because it does end up turning into castings, and I assume once it goes through the red wiggler, I assume that it can grow food with it, and my only scientific evidence on that is my crops grown. So who knows, and there's so many variables. I think there's a lot of, first of all, when you're growing food for yourself, family, and friends, I think there's a lot of variables that prevent pathogens to actually get onto the leaves and to the fruiting plants, especially when you're growing vertically like I do using soil, because your plant leaves never touch the soil. And so we have to ask ourselves, and I have Googled this thought, do plants take up pathogens? And you always get, it's like on ink and newspaper. You always get some people who won't do it. So it's up to the individual to decide how far they want to go with their organic growing. I contend everything I do is organic. I'd like to think, because I really don't buy anything. I'm using only what I have readily available. Lime, I buy lime. And I wonder if I even have to do that, but I do it. I do it for every time on his own right. I do it. Their digestive system. Yeah. I tell you what, these red wigglers, I think the more people we get involved with the red wiggler, that's so true. I think they hold the key to a lot of stuff. And I look forward to the day when we are all passionate about growing food because um, technological unemployment is a fact. People are losing their jobs and will be losing more and more jobs as time goes on because all these corporations, if they don't go robotically, they're going to lose their competitive edge. So even if they wanted to keep people employed, they won't be able to if they want to be the leader in whatever industry they're going to do. So they're going to incorporate more machines, and this goes for the white collar workers as well. You know, the computer can calculate far better than any human. And so where are people going to go to make a living until we can figure out that there's a way where we could get rid of money altogether? That's a whole nother video, of course. But until then, where are people going to go? I contend, and it's my divine mission, I feel, to usher in an agrarian society using today's technology. And I think growing, or this method of growing vertically, because as far as I'm concerned, there's nobody that, and I try to search it all the time. And if somebody does know somebody doing similar work, please send me the link because I love seeing other people who are. There's somebody in California that has a similar setup, like my fence towers or pallet towers. There's somebody in California doing that, but they're not saving their irrigation. It's just in a cylinder. And the important part, especially for California, is saving that irrigation. And I contend, as I've said, that it's going to be more advantageous to grow in our inner cities. And that's where the jobs are going to be. And we'll mechanize those jobs too. Imagine if we have a world where we can mechanize it, where we go to a place. I think of the modern farm as let's say a Caldors or a Zayres or a Kmart or an abandoned Walmart. All those names I'm saying, many young people probably don't even know what the heck they are. Let's say a Walmart, abandoned. That to me is going to be a learning center. That's where we're going to bring our organics. That's where our smart towers are going to go at night after they leave the parking lot. You know, we can leave them out at night, but if the weather's going to get bad, or it takes nothing to program them all at night for them to all come in on their own, that'd be amazing. And the farmer, the urban farmer of the future, is going to be in these cool, comfortable places. And our aquaponics setup is going to be just a fish tank, an amazing fish tank that just adds more to the Garden of Eden look. You know, every garden should have a body of water next to it, and we'll treat it just like a fish tank. It won't be traditional aquaponics. The fish will be separate from the plants, and the plants will be separate from the fish. So if one fails, the whole thing doesn't fail. It's so much easier to take care of an aquarium when you're not running it through all kinds of beds and stuff like that. But if you got to have a filter, then you might as well grow plants with it. So that would be the aquaponics, having a few plants on that it runs through, maybe house plants or whatever. And all the dirty water, that's what you water your plants with. So the kid comes into these new school. These farms, by the way, will be new schoolrooms. There'll be a place where kids go. First of all, the very important part is how to make soil and the microbial world very early on, to learn how to plant. And from there, that most important skill of taking care of the planet and knowing how to reuse, repurpose, and compost, that'll be the first thing they learn. And as they're learning that, that's when we'll teach them reading and writing. But for the most part, unlike when I was a kid, I hated school and the whole system apart. Look at me going all over the place, rambling on. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, Caldors and Kmart's. Lisa, are you a Plainville girl? Are you from Plainville? What I see, you see. All right, here's the new one I'm opening up. Okay, can you guys see that one? Yeah, you can. Sometimes when they're all out, say you got all the ones that seem to be on top. I seem to have a lot of these scutterfly larva things. But that doesn't always mean it's not a bad thing. Let's see here. Look at that one. It doesn't smell bad. The worms at the bottom are still there and healthy and happy. But this one looks like it is a good one. Let's put that like that. Can you guys see that? Let's see here. They always seem to like to go right here. I know I say this all the time, but they like to go in here. And in the middle of here is just pure castings. Got some paper. All right. Boy, I haven't had any phone calls. See, they got all kinds of scutterfly larvae in there. A lot of them. But I'm going to throw it in there. I'll take the chance of it flying out in my face later on in life. This one is very moist. And they're just loving it inside the grass part. Look at this little bundle of joy. These guys look happy enough to me. Imagine in such tight spaces, right? All this debris in such a spot. And I was saying earlier, the beauty about, I think, this system, again, especially if you're a college university and you want to experiment with these heavenly creatures on many different levels, as I've been doing, this system is perfect for that because you can have all kinds of different projects and all the liquid that comes from each container goes right down through to one spot. I just think it's, you know, when I first started getting these buckets and experimenting, this is, look at all the darn scutterfly larvae within there. The beauty about all the scutterflies, the sap beetles, and what's the other ones that are in here? Scutterflies, sap beetles, springtails, they all get along. And who knows? And no, the potworms. Potworms to me, and I don't see many of them these days. I used to when I first started out. But potworms to me just brings them to another level. It's almost like a red in its own right. And it gets even the smaller portions, you know what I mean? All right, this one looks kind of full. And again, I'm not going to add worms because I think there's enough of them in there from the material. So I'm just going to cap this. This is the second one we're capping. And I think that was the fourth one we opened. So we'll put this over here like this. We'll go get another one. Yeah, we did 4. Here's 5. This one's very light. And you guys, I don't have the camera facing, so hopefully you can at least hear my voice. All right. This one's very light. Let me clean this guy out first. This material right here I picked up for free on Facebook. Try to get everything's free. Free. My whole garden, all my towers cost me literally nothing but time. Time is a lot. And I'm not saying, you know, there's something I forget to tell everybody, but it's not as easy as the videos make it look. There is a lot involved with it. And as every grower knows, we all learn something as we're going. So if I could just say something that could save somebody a lot of time. And of course, as far as I'm concerned, when you grow vertically, and it's a whole different root than horizontally. I mean, I don't even think I could grow horizontally in my yard. I don't get much sun in my yard. So it's good to go vertically and mobile because I can move my gardens as the sun goes more north, you know. I can move it into the sun, especially in this yard that's just teeming with trees and stuff. All right. I got this. I need a can. Here we go. There's one here. Boom. Boom. And some newspaper. All right. We need to go. Yeah, well, Lisa, I've got a lot of supplies too. That if you let me know what kind of tower you want to do, and I'll more than gladly come and help you do some vertical towers. We'll do it as long as I could shoot a video and show. You'll be my first. I got a couple planned. That I'll be doing. come spring. I got a couple videos I'll be shooting on people who do want them. But Lisa, I would definitely be more than happy to set you up with whatever tower bucket. If you 55-gallon drum one, I've got some. Be more than happy to square you away with that kind of stuff. Living so close. Come on. We're from Plainville. We got to stick together. Plainville always reminded me of Smallville. You probably know my wife's family. We'll talk about that on the sly. It's always good internet not to get, like, my last name isn't Payne, Lisa. You probably know that. I've said it before. Even though some people on Facebook will leave the E when they're talking about me. They'll leave the Payne without the E, so I'm really a pain. You know who I'm talking about there, don't you? Not you, Lisa. I'm talking to the person. If that person is watching this video, then he knows. We got two watching now, me and Lisa. Yeah, we're going to go get some material. Yep. Oh, Wilkett. Oh, nice. I love Wilkett. In fact, there was a person that was selling in Watertown, right? That's right next door. A grape grinder, which I was thinking for $10. It's on Facebook now. And I was going to pick it up today. I'm not going to have time to pick it up today, but I'll try to pick it up tomorrow. It's like this old grape grinder that I was hoping would work good for compost. Breaking my compost up even smaller. What I see, you see, guys. Let's see here. And voila. Wow, look at this, guys. All the pumpkins that are growing. Now, these... I got certain pumpkins I'm going to grow this year. But that's a freebie right there. If it was springtime, I would throw those in a couple pumpkin towers. Think nothing of it. There's that. This bucket, look at all the worms in here. It smells very earthy. That's a good bucket. I love it when it smells like that. And you could tell, look at all the life. You know, they say, look at this odd looking, this is an odd looking aeration tube right there. But it works. Sometimes I wonder if I even need the aeration tube, but I like it for the drain as well, the way it drains down. Let's see here. I see a lot of scutterflies in here, a real lot. I thought I almost eradicated all of them. Put some of this down here like this, and then I'm going to get, oh, I already used it. Let me go get some compost and another bin. I'll get some fresh compost. Which is in what bucket, Mark? Was it in this one? Yeah, I think it was. This bucket. No, that's not the one. So many buckets. Oh, how that worked. Here it is. I think this is it. All right, what's this one? Oh, these are composting balls. We already showed those at the beginning. I don't want that one. Those I want to bury in my outside towers and planters. House planters there. What the heck is all my food? That's the stuff I just poured. Did I already bring it over here? So disarray. I don't know where the hell it is. Nope. Huh. Ha. Does this sit? Here it is, right here. There it is. Oh, bother. Sorry about that. All right. And some people might not like the smells of compost. But you know what? If you do it right, it smells when you open the caps. You got to cover. And this paper is the first cover. All right? It greatly reduces the smell right there. smells for a little bit when you're working on it. After that, it shouldn't smell at all. And that's true with hot composting as well. Should never have a smell. And if you ever want to get into composting, Joseph Jenkins, I can't say enough about that guy. He's got a great book, The Humanoid Handbook, and he's got some good stuff. I want to put some paper in here, soak up some of that maybe. Put a little lime in here because I don't know. Maybe I'll put my lime in here. I'll put the lime in, put my lime in here. I don't know if that was too much, but that's all right. Mix it around like that. This has got some duff in it as well. Not duff, some castings. All right. I know, right, Lisa? You know what's funny about it all? When I think about all the gross stuff? Again, somebody gets paid to move it around. Somebody's got to do it. You know, and we as a society have forgotten how to do things for ourselves. And one day it might be very important to at least know how to get rid of your organics. And I know I take it even a step further when I get into my personal outputs. But that might be important too. You know, if stuff, and I don't want to be gloom and doom because I have nothing but positive. I think even this whole COVID thing, I think there's a lot of positive things that have been happening, some amazing things. We've learned that we can work from home. And those of us who can work from home, and especially when people start figuring out urban farming jobs, you'll be working from home, right? You'll be right in your backyard working. So it'll be so exciting there. But those who have computer jobs and they work from home, like my wife, it's a great thing on many levels. We're not taking our car to New York and our cars from New York aren't coming to Connecticut. It's so discombobulated that we have it set up. We always say it takes a village, right? Hillary Clinton, it takes a village. But yet we never get it right. You hear all these songs and like Michael Jackson, and love is all we need. No, we need a plan. We need a plan to figure out how to stop this. And the only one who can stop it is we the people. We have to learn to do stuff for ourselves. And growing food, making soil is a key way we're going to do it. It's a key way how we're going to change the world. We'll stop heating it up. You know, I totally agree that the world is heating up, but I think the planet has heated up before, and it wasn't necessarily people's fault. It happens. And we should be prepared. That's the laws of nature. That's part of it. I mean, we've had a couple extinctions through the life of this planet. And we are probably creating more than we are creating more. You know, this carbon, the plants take in, turn it into oxygen. So we're creating too much carbon and taking away too many plants. So if we could stop all these big machines from coming to our individual houses, and we as individuals learn how to do it ourselves, I think there's a lot of hope there. And I think we're going to need it. Again, we don't need to go into that technological unemployment, people losing their jobs and stuff like that. But did I bring another bucket over? Okay. You know, when I'm down here by myself, not filming, I think all this stuff anyway, so kind of like I'm thinking out loud. So that could be irritating to many people, especially when it's not fun to listen to and you don't agree. And I mean that after the fact, after somebody, like my last videos, I don't think my last opening videos, and I probably will, my last one was private only because I said my last name in it. And maybe I went on a religious rant that I didn't like after the fact. But one day I'll probably have them all. It just gives you a sense of fermenting. Is it really worth it? Is there a better way? Are these continuous flow through systems better? At least when I do a live video, I don't have to edit it. I can just put it on there. I don't care if it's long. If people don't like it, it's no big deal to me because once I shut this off, it goes right up onto the YouTube. Thank you, YouTube, for doing that for me. And I don't have to edit it. And people can discern if you like. If it's too boring, you just don't watch it. If it is interesting, if you're thinking of getting into fermenting as your worm farming method, this is what you have to deal with. I'm juggling all these containers. Am I getting the castings you'd get if you had just a regular, a couple continuous flow systems? I don't know. Who else? We got another person in the room. 3 people. Let's see here. Yeah. Well, Lisa, if you're thinking of it, because it's the guy lives closer to you, closer to Woolcut than he does me. So if that's something you're interested, I'll send you the link. The guy's having a hard time selling it. It's for $10. If something, I might go after it tomorrow, but if it's something you could consider, if you want it, I'll send you the picture. You save me a trip, and then you could tell me how it works out. You can experiment with it on that. Right now, I just use a flat-ended spade, as probably some of you know, whereas this one is like a grinder. You throw it all in. I don't know if it'd work or not, but all right, Mark, where the hell are you anyway? I guess I got to open up another bucket. Is that this one? Oh my God, guys. Yeah. Can you guys, oh, you're not seeing it. You're supposed to be when I see you see. Look at this one. A lot of pumpkin. Oh, it's so funny. I was in a lot of, look at this, pumpkins, and look at all the scutterflies, for crying out loud. I get more scutterflies than I had the last opening. I don't feel like turning my little power vac. I got a little power vac down here. And when these scutterflies start moving around up here as I'm sifting through the castings, they don't go far, and I just suck them all up. And there's little water in my power vac. And very rarely do they make it upstairs to the main house. Again, in this basement here, I have another section there, so it's a separate section. So that's something I think I should talk about. Sometimes I say you can, and I did touch upon it earlier, you could do this right in your house. But, who the heck wants bugs? If you have a small apartment, I don't want bugs in it, especially if you have other people. But, of course, you wouldn't do the stuff that I do. You just do your vegetarian stuff or whatever, your greens and stuff like that. I don't know. Let's see. Let's get this done, Mark. Jeez, Carl. Ramble on much? Again, this is my garden. They do like it kind of moist. Look at that. They're loving that. My eyes are pretty bad. I don't see the cocoons like I used to. There we go. And what do we look at us here? Remember, let's talk about this. This is all castings right here. They love to go down there. And it's interesting why, because when this is in the bucket, it drips. So the drip goes right down to the bottom to the next bucket. So I wonder if they're just liking that little drip that comes down. I don't know. I don't know why they like it right in there, except that it's an aeration tube, and they're probably getting a ton of air in that one spot. And they're in such a tight spot. Maybe that's the spot where they can really breathe and feel like they're not in such a tight little spot. I don't know if I've said this to other people, but I experimented in tight spot using, which was stupid now that I think about it, but I used the Canadian Nightcrawler one time like an idiot, my favorite worm. And, that's a different, they're just leaf mold. That's all they want. They don't want freaking compost. And I also tried it with the Alabama Jumper. Now, I'm doing my Alabama Jumper. Look at all these right here. Talk about amazing, these pumpkins. The micro world's amazing. I am using the Alabama Jumpers for my cat litter and dog waste. They seem to be doing it fast. Right now, they're all freaking dead. Again, this, I was saying at the beginning of the video, this is what this material is right here, which looks pretty darn good. And I don't see anything left over because it's packed with minced cardboard. Look at me patting it. I don't know what that goes. Just put that in there. This one's finished. Okay, boom. Aeration lid. All right, so we opened 5, I think, and we got 3. Let's grab one more. Do I have another one over here? Let's grab another. Okay. Hey, Lisa, are you on Clubhouse? Do you do Clubhouse? That'd be great. Have you heard of Clubhouse? Let me see here. Nightcrawlers that I gathered. Yeah, I love Canadian. I love that worm, man. They do good in my outside towers, my cylinder ones and my pallet ones. I don't put them in these buckets type thing. The Red Wiggler does such a good job. Yeah, Clubhouse is an audio app. Oh my God, so many great conversations. Last week I talked to, I was in a room, went on stage with Jesse Ventura. Neil Donald Walsh these are some of the celebrities. A lot of celebrities go on there. Oh, wait a minute. What I see, you see? A lot of celebrities go on there. I'll send you the app. But Clubhouse is getting big, and it's just people talking about important stuff. And we have a growing group there. And I have an Eve club that I've started that I haven't really done much with, but I hope to soon bring some of my Facebook people onto it so we can have a conversation that way. But it's just been good. I used to listen to NPR all the time. Nowadays, I just go on Clubhouse, and everybody around the world is talking about their particular situation. And I think you get some really good news out of the people who are living in their particular country, because it's a global app, right? And everybody's on it. And some rooms get to like thousands of people in the room, and some key speakers, doctors, and some very important people are saying some great stuff, and some regular people are as well. So that's what I listen to when I'm farming. When I'm out back all day, I'll have Clubhouse in my ear. Sometimes the growing groups I'll talk on as well while I'm working out back, and it's just a great app. I can't say enough about it. Yeah, I'd love to do. I'll do a video. That'd be fun. Do videos together. That'd be cool. Maybe Plainville, the town of Plainville, is where the urban farming movement will be known for in the future years to come. It all started in Plainville, Connecticut. You know, Lisa, before COVID, I almost had my towers in Linden School. They were almost there, and then just something happened, COVID, and they didn't, that the COVID happened. And I've been talking to Mr. LePage. I shouldn't give names, but what the heck, he's online anyway. Great guy, love that guy, Mr. LePage. My kid's going through school. He was the principal at the high school, and just amazing. He reminds me of Mr. Incredible, because he's just such a good guy. I hope you don't mind me, Mr. LePage, saying your name. Look at this little, oh wait. Look at that little, just cleaning the bottom of this bucket. These worms look really nice and healthy in here. Living in this little tight spot. And as many of you know, when I first started experimenting and pushing the buttons, I still do it a little bit. I don't have anything going on right now, except my own personal outputs, but roadkill, when I see a roadkill, I don't like to see these poor animals on the road. And I don't like seeing them going into the trash. And I feel compelled. So what I do with a roadkill is I've had big raccoons in something like that, possums and rabbits. And these worms really do turn them into worm castings very quickly. And it's very exciting, I think. And I know it's a big turnoff for a lot of people, but I think it's better than throwing it in the trash. I mean, you could bury it in your backyard or bury it somewhere as well, but why not turn it into soil? Eventually, especially here in Plainville, our soil, if you dig down deep enough, it's sand, beach sand. You know, I'm from the next town over, Southington, and I can remember with my father digging very deep holes and finding seashells Sometimes I think that's a dream, but I have my brothers, I think, that could prove that. But seashells, because we live in an area with two huge mountains, right, Lisa? Got Meriden on one side, Southington Mountain on the other, and this is the Farmington Valley, all apart. It's big glaciers used to come through here many, many thousands of years ago. It's a great little town, though. I don't like the cold. But we've been blessed not to have too much snow. I guess we got some coming our way, I heard. Some kind of a thing happening. All right, so this was the bottom. This was the bottom paper, right? That right here. That usually is gone the second time around. Notice, again, I'm not really putting any worm. The worms are already in the material, and all the ones that are digging down below, that'll go into, those worms will go into something else. And usually, come April, May, is when I gather a bunch of my reds. And don't take many, maybe a couple hundred rather than 1,000. But you got to admit, there's got to be at least 1,000 in each in some of these bins, if you really counted them out, right? Let me put a fresh roll in here. And so when you're doing these outside towers, and I've got some videos showing that where I bury composting rolls and balls, like a ton of them in there. I did that when I set these 2022 towers up. I buried a bunch of composting rolls within the tower, and come spring, there's going to be reds that are going to eat on those. And in a sense, this composting that I'm burying in these towers is what? It's worm castings. It's PUD, but potential urban duff. Potential urban duff, and of course, duff is another acronym, detritus under forest floor. All right, what am I looking for? Here we go, boom. All right. That's a lot of compost again. And we've got shrimp parts, everything. What the heck? Everything, you name it. And what's exciting about it, for me, is my 13, I probably said this before. Actually, all my stuff is probably getting old. But when I dump my trash out, my 13-gallon bucket trash, it's all dry material in there. There's nothing gross in it. And so I just dump it right in and save that bag again. I don't think I'm going to, in my lifetime, I got one of those, where you go? I've got one of those Costco, Sam's Club package of garbage bags I bought. I'll never have to buy them again because I literally go as long as I can. I think probably 5-6 times I go using the same bag. Isn't that amazing? So that's another help. I'm stopping plastic from going. And if we all had this kind of thought, and it's got to be taught, of course, and mine was taught, self-taught, because I'm passionate about it. And if I can get people enthusiastic about it, especially inner city people who really aren't accustomed to bugs and stuff like that, because they're in the city, right? They don't see it. They didn't live it. A lot of people who were born in the city, they don't see it. So when they see a worm or any kind of bug, they get so grossed out. And I hate to say it, my city dwelling family, you got to get over that. You got to get over that, because growing is about life, all kinds of different life. So all this insect world, don't be grossed out. Figure out, I think many people are grossed out because they learned it from their parents, being grossed out. You know, a spider, a worm. Like, I know my mother-in-law, and not just my mother-in-law, my father, who was a farmer in his own right, he never got into the red wiggler when he farmed because he was horizontal. In fact, his garden, really, the old way, didn't have any worms. He just added his nutrients in the form of whatever he used. He used something for tomatoes, but he used Miracle Grow, you know? And when I first started growing, when I was going to grow, I have a big thing of Miracle Grow that I never, ever ended up using because I got fascinated with the soilless growing. And then I figured out growing with soil does the same thing. And I've never used my Miracle Grow because of the red wiggler. Thank you, red wiggler. All right, let me go get another one. Got another one. Here it is. See my messy thing back here. I'm going to fix it one day. Clean it up. Organization. Oh my God, this is a heavy one. I don't know what's going to happen with this one, guys. This is a heavy organization. I see that with a lot of farmers, and it's not just because I see it doesn't mean it's good. I see a lot of ones that are very clean and organized about their stuff. Come springtime, summertime, it looks good, but when the cold starts to come, you get buckets all over the place. It doesn't look good. But it's a farm. It's a farm, and farms, you need certain things. All right, let me put food here, put this here. So what I see, you see. Ready? You know, the last time I did these, like I said, I could have sworn I saw less scutterflies. I say that every time I open it. This one was very heavy, but I have a feeling it's going to be a good one. It's heavier than most. We'll see. You smell? Now, there's an anaerobic smell to it, so I don't know how good that is. But let's see what we got going on here. A lot of moisture. I see maggots here. This was fresh compost at one time. Not one time, last time. I'm going to put that right there like that. First of all, I'd like to add some. I got to go and get some more. This minced cardboard, folks, if you ever think a micro shredder. Mine is 16 sheets. I worked the hell out of this shredder. Let me go get some card. Hang on, I'll be right back. I got to go get some cardboard. All right, I gotta go make sure my dog is not still outside too. I should. Let me go see. Hang on, I'll be right back. Take me no time. Go up to the bolt head here. My son, I think my son took her for a walk. That'd be good if he did that. How are we doing, everybody? What do we got for time here? Yeah. Yeah, I think my dog is all right. I think my son took her for a walk. That's my only thought. Put this in here like that. These are gonna tie them up. I know I heard somebody upstairs, so hopefully this has a lot of worms in it. Good. Good. Again, this is all my garden parts, and they are just totally turning it into castings. All of weeds, folks, weeds. Even plants. Listen to this. It's going to sound crazy, I know. But even tomato plants that have mildew on it have mildew. What the heck they call? Look at us. Here we go. Here. I see a lot of cocoons in there for some reason. I don't know why I see them in there. But So anyway, because the deal, what I do with it is I take all that tomatoes and weeds or whatever that's green, and I chop it up very fine, or best I can with a flat-ended spade, right? I pack it up full to the very top, and I pack it in there, right? All these garden debris, right? And then I pour liquid over it. I'm going to throw this one in here too. Then I pour liquid water, not liquid, water, right? Yeah, water's liquid. But I pour that on there. Now see, this is kind of a gross roll right there. So you don't want it, you want to kind of cover it so it doesn't smell. I should put that in the next bin. But I'm just going to go like this. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm going to put some variation on that like that. All right, so now we get 5 repacked. Put that up here like this. Let me go get another one. Yes. So what was I saying? All right, so then I pour the liquid on it and then I cap it. I cap it and I leave it for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, or until I'm ready for it. And the it pickles it. It softens everything up, making it ready and easier for the worms to get at it, right? And so this was the bad one. The first one I opened. And so that's how I make it ready for the worms to eat it. So instead of just, and again, you don't have to do that, right? You could just throw it in a bin. You don't have to be as complicated as I'm making it. Mother Nature gives us a couple tools. Again, I'm just doing it because I want castings. I want a ton of castings. And sometimes I don't, well, my mother-in-law, we weren't doing her food. Sometimes at the time I needed more food to feed this growing worm population. So if you're looking for food or something to feed your worms, that's a good one. And they love to go in and out of the grasses. That, as we've seen. And some of those darn scutterflies, as we can tell too. But anyways. Yeah, good idea. Of course, my phone is on there. Let's see. Call my son to make sure. I'm almost sure. And we got a fenced-in backyard where she's usually in. And I could have sworn I heard the slider open. And in the kitchen upstairs, you could tell that there was... All right. Good idea. Let's see if I can't use my iPad to do that. Because I'm videoing on my... Where are we here? Contacts. Where are you, son? All right. iPhone calls not available. Why? It should be. I don't know why. Let's say boom. Yeah, it should be. Bluetooth. There we go. Come on, Tags. Almost positive he's doing that. He's took her for a walk. No, yeah. Rose, you know all right, here we go. Yeah, the dog's upstairs with my son. I don't know why she didn't come. That I know I had to do that. Kind of figured she would be, but it's good to always good to be safe. It's cold out there. Baby, it's cold outside. All right. Yeah. I don't know why on my iPad it's frozen. But I think let's see. All right, good. I mean, what do I got? I've got 2, 4, 6, 7 more to do. I don't have to keep video on that long. I'm going to use the same gloves, too. Just because. Yeah, so these live videos. Again, you do them just to get a sense of what it's all about. Maybe I won't have to do too many of them. You know, maybe that's enough. Ah, son. Let me take these off. Something on this one. A lot of times I don't use these. I use the regular black gloves that I have here. But when you're dealing with castings, I want to have your hands feel as close as you can to it, you know? Let's see here. I don't know why my dog didn't come downstairs when I called her, though. She's hanging out with my son. My son. Remember that cartoon? Wow, Lisa, you've been doing worms since 1987. Wow, that's great. Well, let me see. When I got started was 2000. And what's mine? I'll have to look. I did gardening before the reds. But when I started going into soil and people started talking about reds and how important castings are, I was like, oh, wow. Castings, compost. Got to be careful with too much castings because castings sometimes, especially in containers, can harden. You know, they harden if you have too much castings and it restricts your flow through. So you have to have like 1 part castings, 3 parts good compost, rich soil. And if you're putting composting rolls inside there, that'll feed those reds and they'll turn that into, like I said, they'll turn that into castings. And we'll do that. I've done videos on that. I've got my house plants that grow vertically, right? And when I take them from the summer, when winter comes and I take them inside and I take them apart, that's when I pack them with new composting rolls. And when I'm bringing them back out for the summertime, I'll take them apart and I'll put new composting rolls. And it's always fun to see how those composting rolls fared. All right, get going, Mark. Jeez, the crow. All right. Lots of mites on there. See that roll? Got everything in that one. They get at it. They eventually get at it. Once they get at that stage, that means they're starting to really get in there and work on it. The biodiversity made it ready enough. At first, it might be too acidic for them. You know? I don't know. But eventually, it all gets turned down. Now, all those bins we opened, these are the castings that remain. This is what I'm getting. This is my harvested castings, right? For the most part, I'll still weed out. Now, these, again, as I've said in other videos, these aren't ready for sale. They have to go a little bit longer. I don't know how that plastic got in there. But you can put them in a grow tower all day long. Get these working for you. You know, if you're not, I'm not planning on selling them, but I'd throw that in a grow tower. Think nothing of it. Let me get another fresh roll. What's this one? This is water. What's this one? Here's my compost. Hey, boom. All right, let me do this. Yeah, I'm going to grow a couple big. I got my nephew. My nephew is friend does pumpkins. First of all, I've got Lisa. I've got one. I was in New Britain, driving through New Britain, and some person put a huge pumpkin on the side of the road. You know, right. You know, past the sidewalk. And throwing it out. It was huge. So I saved those seeds. But my nephew has a friend that does competition with pumpkins. So I'm hoping he's going to give me some seeds. So I'm going to be growing some serious pumpkins this year. I love it. I'd like to master watermelon as well. But I'm going to grow, I might grow pumpkins in my front yard this year. Yeah, what else am I going to grow? Tomatoes, of course. I'm going to do some cherry, but I'm going to try to stick with all beef, because that's the ones we eat the most, beef steak. Put our tomato sandwiches, you know. Basil and mozzarella and tomatoes type thing. You guys see that? All right, let me go get another one, guys and gals. And gals and guys. Let me go get another one over there. Oh, I already had one. This one's one I go. So many buckets, so little time. All right, what I see, you see. I put that like that. Can you see that? You know what's funny? I always thought that I have to have my iPad, but I did see your comment that you had on my iPhone. And do a tomato seed comparison together. Yeah, I'd love to do that. So ooh, nice. All right, I'm psyched for that, Lisa. I was gonna say, I'm not gonna get into that. I was look at this bin here. Holy smokes! I was gonna think of doing a club cast. Go on Clubhouse and open up a room while I have a YouTube channel going, but I'm not gonna get into all that. This one smells really good. And, I don't know, can you see all those worms in there? So many. This one you could tell when they're really good. This one smelled good. I see very little scutterflies, thank God. They're just a nuisance. Nobody likes things flying. You know, I don't even get fruit flies. These scutterflies are so damn fast, and I don't know where, you don't see any flying around, per se. They all hang around here. I'll suck them up when I'm all done with a vacuum. But that doesn't mean the larvae won't still be in some of this material, as you know. Let some of those go down below. All right, let me open up another one. Boy, that was all castings. That was a good one. Look at all the pumpkin seeds. That was another thing. And here's what these scutterflies like to do, too. They get their larvae under this can. You see those in there? I showed you in that last one. I'm going to throw this one in my slurry bucket, too. Just to get rid of, reduce some a little bit. Hopefully I won't need that can. Cat cans. Probably are going to need that can, aren't I? Yeah, maybe not. But look at all these pumpkin seeds. That's why this is down. That was a pumpkin one. They love pumpkin like crazy. They go through it very fast. Let me get that other one here. Let me read that. Was it? Yeah, look. That's why it's gone. Pumpkin all day long. They love it. I wonder if I see a ton of eggs in there too. Cocoons. Cocoons. You come here. Come on. All right. What's in this one? Let's see. This one's just a regular one. Ready? When I see you say, boom. Yeah, a lot of pumpkin. That's right. I did have a lot of pumpkin when I packed these. These ones, see them grow. I could all day long. I could be growing them out of this. Well, you always get pumpkin gifts, though, in my garden, right? Those of us who grow realize you get a lot of pumpkin gifts where you don't have to plant them. You see them. And when I see them, I have I probably already said this, I have a dedicated tower just for them. So, like that. Let's look. They just went through it all, right? And who knows? Maybe it's the pumpkin seeds, them all working together. Look at that. Holy smokes! I love it. I love it. I'll throw that right in there. Uh-oh, there's that darn bone that's been in there. Been throwing that one around forever. Wow, that was a good, look at all that. They went all through here. Hardly any paper left or anything. They loved it. That was a good one. Pumpkin all day long. Pumpkin and, first of all, I would say pumpkin's the favorite. Look at this is all just pumpkins, guys. Look at that. All pumpkin seeds. How fun is that? I'll put you guys just like that. What's I gotta say? That's nice. Ooh, it smells so good. Pumpkin is amazing. I grew some in my not last year or the year before, but I think one year I grew pumpkin in my grape arbor in buckets. And again, like I was saying earlier, they did pretty good. Now, chicken bones, that's probably a rabbit bone there, but these chicken bones, I really should put aside. I've got a system where I could run it through and spin it into bone meal, right? But I'm not going to do that. But I was thinking that's what I would do. Run them, chop them up best you can with it, flat-ended spade, and then when they go to this point here, this is the time when I would turn it into dust rather than moving around every time you have to. But that's the thought I had. I'm not going to act upon it. Some thoughts, as many of my loved ones would know, would say, I love when they go in the corn too, right? You don't have to act upon, right? Sometimes I act upon thoughts that after all is said and done, like I don't know if you saw that video, which I kind of like the video of all my bottle tower there, my bottle thing that I was experimenting with. I had literally 240 bottles all being watered at the same time and the water being saved. And, you know, I built it down here in my basement during the winter and I was hoping to go further with, that's when I got excited with buckets. Right after I went bottles, then I went buckets, then I went 55-gallon drums. Now I'm going, get them loving that. Now I'm going fencing. And of course, always on wheels. Mobile gardenings are going to be the way of the future if I have anything to do with it. If I have my way. So it's a lot of work, really. Think to myself, this is... But, you know, I've got these buckets designed so I can do 16 at a time. Used to be like 3 or 4, and then I'd have to do it more days. But, ready, guys? Here it is. Boom. Bam. Scutterfly. Sham. Yeah, I see a lot of them on here. My last opening didn't have this many scutterflies. This one has a ton. A real lot. And if I didn't want it to be so loud, I put my vacuum and suck them all up. Who knows? They might have something positive. I don't know what it is. But that one had the most out of any of them. And I think I'm just going to cap this one and start a whole new bin. Is what I'm going to do. I don't want to squish that worm that was in there like this poor guy. How trapped are you? Oh, you slide out nice. I don't want to hurt you. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we've opened probably 10. 11, 12, 13, probably 11. All right, let me get this guy here. Boom. Bang, bing, bang. And let's see, if we have any questions here. Oh, we got somebody new here. On the rocks and in the soil. Oh, yeah, nice, Lisa. Yeah, girl after my own heart. Good for you. Every bone, even steak bones, huh? Good for you. I use my pressure cooker to soften it, and then I put it in the food processor. Oh, cool. Very cool. Yeah, you don't have to buy. Everything's given to us. No, don't have to stand for phone. Good idea, Lisa. Yeah, totally. Everything is given to us. It's so funny. We think we got to buy it. And, of course, they lead us to think we have to buy it with their commercials and stuff like that. Because, of course, people got to make a living. So they got to sell something to make a living. So I get all that. But you don't have to buy anything when it comes to growing. You got to buy the food processor to chop up those bones, which is a great idea, Lisa. I love that idea. I have a little coffee grinder that I use for eggshells. Sometimes I use for eggshells, or I used to. These days, I just don't worry about mincing those up too fine. But what do? With these bones, I have my... Oh, you got to see this. This is what I called this one way back in the day. I called this a power composter. And basically what it is, of course, it's a bucket, right? Let's see. It's a garbage disposal. Can you see that? Let's see. It's a garbage disposal that I have in this bucket. I still got to add the switch. My first one had a nice switch here, which I'll add to here. I ended up putting it on this sink here, and that sink was a pain because I'd have so many things that it would overflow. Like this little simple bin here holds a lot more castings. So since I don't have any water down here anyway, but this is a power composter, and that minces bones up fine. This thing minces bones up fine as well. You just got to add some liquid so it flows through here. And now I'm noticing that this has a little crack there. So I'll have to put a little silicone there. But it's the garbage disposal sits in here, and I just dump the stuff in here, and I have this thing that prevents it from going all the way down. So you go like this, and it stops it from going to the blade, and it works very well. So that's what I'll be using when I feel like it, when I get all my bones together. Chicken bones, you can't use steak or ham bones because they're too strong. Chicken bones, it minces it up nice. Other than that, when I initially made this, I found out that a spade does just as good. A little less effort. I mean, you got to do a little more of this, but it's, less cleaning of stuff. So a spade, you don't have to plug it in. Anybody, easy to find or get or buy that at the Home Depot or whatever, box store. So that's what I've been doing. As far as breaking these down, they don't have to be as small as you think. I mean, again, as I used to always say, the smaller you mince it down, the faster, of course, the more surface area exposed on that organic matter makes it break down. I don't have to tell you guys that, but for anybody who's listening, the smaller you make your pieces, whether it's your leaves that you're working on, and whatever it is that's organic, if the smaller you make it, the faster it breaks down, the more surface area exposed so the microbes can get at it. And it's just people on Facebook doing it. They are experimenting with it. one day somebody's going to say, hey, Mark, you don't need so much darn paper. You just throw the stuff in there and you don't have to do all that other stuff. All those other steps. But newspaper all day long. PUD, potential urban duff. Duff is another acronym, Diterious under forest floor, right? Everything. When I'm in the city, New York, and I see all the cardboard they waste, they throw it to the curb. I have a feeling it's, maybe they're recycling most of it these days, but I have my doubts. I think New Yorkers, especially if you're in apartment complexes and stuff like that, you have to think of community gardens, especially if you have a flat roof. And if you know how to grow the Eve way, vertically, you know, all your compost can go right to your rooftop where you turn it into soil. Maybe a green, this was a fair bucket though. A lot of springtails on it. So when I open this one up again, there'll probably be a lot of springtails. And so goes, but, oh wait a minute, you guys can't see. Let's go like that. So as you can see what I've been doing, putting all this older stuff in there. This is the best way, this is a good way to do it. That's a little wet for me, so I'll add some, oh God, I'll add some of that. I like the minced cardboard better than I like minced newspaper for some reason. Again, you guys, I've said it before, I use it for cat litter. Very good. I did use minced lead as cat litter. That worked as well too. It flattened down a little bit quicker. And somebody had mentioned that the possibilities of microbes that might get onto your cat and stuff kind of distracted me from that. Burst that bubble. And I'm thinking to myself, darn, it was working so good. And then cardboard, minced cardboard works really good too. So never have to buy cat litter. So that pays for itself. The paper cut, if you have a cat, look at all these scutter flies. Let me see if I can't get it closer to you guys. Can you see them all? You guys could see them, right? So many. Too bad, so sad. That's all right, they'll all be gone. They'll be gone somehow. They do, in the summer, they do hang around a little longer, but here in the winter, they die off pretty quick. And as I've said, they come up here, and I'll just suck them all up, and they'll die that way. And that liquid in my thing will go into my hot composting. Blah 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 blah. Outdoor cats and all wild cows use leaves to do their business. So, yeah, totally, Lisa. I love what you're saying, because there is a lot of people get scared when they hear it only takes one comment from somebody to say, oh my God, don't put an onion in your worm bin, or I would never put too many orange peels, or whatever the negative is. And way back in the day, I got a lot. When I was posting that I did roadkill, oh my God, I got some serious hate mail from some groups, comments. One guy said I was going to change organic growing. I was going to be a detriment to organic growing with the stuff that I'm saying I feed my reds. And as we always talk about, the science is there where red wigglers greatly reduce pathogens. So, like manner that hot composting and even cold composting, if you let it go long enough. Nature's got us covered, basically. Let me put a couple fresh rolls in here. Oh my God, after the holidays with our two houses that we go from, I had like 3 buckets full of compost, and sometimes you think you'll never be able to use it all. But of course, I always do. And now that I bury them in my outside towers more so than I ever did, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder how I would do it on a commercial level. I would need some kind of a grinding machine that you could throw all the stuff in. Because again, that's the key, making it small. Some kind of a grinder like they have. Like I've seen them where they put a whole tire in there, for crying out loud. They're very expensive, but I think you could make it on a smaller scale. And so when you have a community garden or something where everybody brings their organics, they don't have to chop it up with a flat-ended spade. I only do that because, you know, this is only 2 houses, not that much. I can go get another one, I think. Hey, I appreciate it, Lisa, hanging out here. There's 2 more people here, but I do appreciate that. And I can't believe the gift. You're right around the corner from me. That's so cool, so close. Yeah, totally. And tiger worms are just like the red wiggler, right? And so my system that I've been working with, I was looking at that. It's funny, when I was feeding mine to red wigglers with great results, I didn't see any of those tiger. Only when you told me about it, when you first told me about it, did I Googled that and saw that video, and I was psyched to see that somebody else was doing that on a, not on a commercial scale, but a village scale or whatever the heck. A lot of people. You know, the only people here in America that I know of that are experimenting with our outputs are Joseph Jenkins, the Human Handbook. I don't know too many people that are doing that. It's such a no-no to people, organic growers. They think it's so bad, and maybe it is for people who have even antibiotics or whatever some people are on. Can, like they do with, like you talked about with those minerals that the worm can break up, if they even break that down too. I don't know. All right, what I see, you see. Still see the sky fly. This one's a wet one. And you can always tell when it smells a little bit anaerobic. Put you guys over here. Of course, when it's wet like this, can you guys see that? When it's wet like this, you get more of those springtails when it's wet. Can you see that? Those springtails. And when it's dry, you see less of them. This can too. I'm going to just throw it in that dome. Drown these guys. Of course, I'll need another can. Oh, here's one here. I just throw them in there, like I said. They drowned. Or if you just leave a can out, they dry up, and they're that'll kill them too. I don't know why I just don't like things flying in your face. Okay, so this was the bottom. Very wet. So I'm going to add, before I put that, I'm going to put some cardboard down. Like this. It has to soak up some of this wetness. It's, you know, what was that one? That was a bottom bucket. So, you know, all the liquid from all the 4 buckets above it. And maybe the drain wasn't working so good. I'll have to look at the drain on that one. Maybe the drain wasn't working as good. But here's these guys loving this little area. I know we're going to see that leather belt someday. So those of you who are still in the room, that's always a fun thing. I think we should be dumping that one out if it's not in this one here. Look at this, was all weeds. Weeds are garden material. They love going in, and they slowly turn it into castings. All my garden waste, everything. Even the like I was saying, even the stuff that may have diseases on it. I have a feeling, it's just a hunch, and as I do more and more growing, because I don't think anybody else is working on something like that, putting it in, packing it full with all kinds of weeds or whatever kind of plant debris, and then filling it to the very top and capping it. And when you do that, your bucket expands. It's funny because it creates a you know, the hell am I trying to say? The heck is this thing? What is that? Is that a hot dog? Could be. Yeah. Hot dog or sausage. Look at it. It all breaks down. Not a combustion. It's not a spontaneous combustion. You know, it just creates some kind of thing that, I don't know why I can't think of it. And it kind of expands, and the lid almost blows off the top. It's a riot. And so that's why I'm thinking and that happens every time you pack a bunch of green material down, you're going to get, and I have a feeling that kills all the damn molds and all the damn stuff. It's just a hunch. But instead of like some people, they don't even want to do if they have a disease on their cucumbers or tomatoes, they don't want to even risk it in their composting bins. They just want it gone. So they throw it in the trash. And I can tell you, you don't have to throw it in the trash. You can still turn it into soil. We'll see. Time on that one. All right, I got to clean another bucket. And that's just a hunch. A lot of stuff, those of us who grow food or do urban farming in general, we're all experimenting. It's not like, you know, we learn a little bit from YouTube or the different courses we take. A lot of springtails at the very bottom here. I wish we'd get some science on all these little, maybe there is, but some kind of a person, some kind of a scientifically minded person that could really investigate, get some grant money from these colleges and really investigate each one of these. Because who knows, maybe that's why my crops do so good. Maybe it's some particular insect in here that the red wiggler gets along with, but the cucumber beetle or whatever doesn't get along with. Mark, stop rambling on. What the hell are you talking about anyway? So, look. How long have we been going, folks? I can't see how long we've been going. Oh, yeah, I can. 25 minutes? 125 minutes? 125 minutes. And how many more we got left? See, if I didn't talk so damn much, we'd be done. That's what would happen. All right, let me see any more questions here. Yep. Yeah, totally. Lacey, wow. It's good to hear. Yeah, it creates gases. That's exactly what I was saying. Yeah. You know, it's funny, Lisa. My name is Mark, but I have a twin brother named Mike. And a lot of people call me, we're not identical, but we look similar. My whole family kind of looks alike. And his name is Mike. So when people call me Mike, I don't mind at all. I get that, but I don't know. My name's Mark, right? You're talking to me, I think. There's nobody named Mike on here. Yeah. I'm Mark. Mark and Mike. I have a twin brother named Mike, so I don't mind being called Mike. Let me go get another one. Yeah, this is a riot. That last one we had, you got to see this. Oh. Now, this is going to be an interesting one. This is the first time this has really happened to me. But this top aeration hole, drain hole, didn't work. We have to ask ourselves why. And I'm going to see that right now. The screen got clogged somehow. And that's not supposed to happen. And maybe it wouldn't happen, Mark, if you learn to clean the damn things at least once a year instead of every 10 years, for crying out loud. But here we go like this. This got clogged. Let me see here. Oh, all right, all right. Oh, cool, all right. Oh, all right, guys. All right, hi, Mike. Yeah, I knew you. Yeah, all right. Sorry about that. All right, let's see what this one's got going. So the last bucket, we didn't like, or had a lot of water in it too. Well, let me see here. But this lip here wouldn't make enough for this lip here. Let's see here. Well, maybe it would. For some reason, this was clogged. And we're going to look into that. They never get clogged. Never say never. But this one did. And it's a tight screen. And you know what that screen is from? A tea bag that was synthetic tea bag. Let's just get rid of that. A synthetic tea bag that was I didn't want to throw it out. I thought it would be a cool material. And that's why it didn't do good. So, let me see here. I gotta get let's see a little piece. Basically, I call it an e-fitting now. This is another nice, cool invention. It's all not, and especially if you have worm farms to allow aeration in, right? And they also are great, of course, for plants, to poke plants in. So I call it an e-fitting. I initially called it an aeration fitting. And then I realized when I was trying to figure out how to get plants in the buckets, containers, and 55-gallon drums, I tried to mimic the tower garden and the garden tower. You know how they have a nice little cup? I was trying to mimic that. I'm still working on that thought in my head, how to make like a little cup out of it. A little pocket to put the plant in, because right now with my system, you literally have to poke it in. This should go the other way around, Mark. Dipstick. You don't have to go like this. You want to go from the top. Oh, look at that. There we go. Boom. Like that. All right. And this one looks pretty darn good. Heavy. My God, that thing moved like it was a live animal in there. Almost gave me a little start. Oh my goodness gracious. This one looks amazing. All that gross stuff I put in there. Mother Nature helped me turn it into awesome soil amendments. And it gets me so excited when I open a nice big one like this. And again, oh, get down here like that. Get down. It's good when they're all down like that, just having fun or whatever the heck they're doing. Fellowshipping together. It's just amazing to me how every time I never get bored with it. Isn't that funny? And I think that's true about a lot of us. I bet you Lisa would say, if I look, she's going to say the same thing. It's exciting, guys, to know that we have solutions to the problems at hand. It's all about education. That's all it is. It's just education, and we can do this. We have to do it. And the problem why we're not getting it so far is because really there's no money to be made. Look at these machines that I'm using, these towers. It costs nothing. People can mimic them. It's like Tim Blank's Tower Garden. I know I rightly pick on that machine all the time. One thing, because I love Tim Blank's, and I love the work he did for Epcot and stuff like that. When I kid him, or when I talk in absolutes, first of all, I believe it to be true that Eve growing is far better than any soilless growing method, can compete easily on a residential scale especially, but I contend one day we're going to prove it on a commercial scale. It's a tangible machine that people can sell. But a lot of people like myself have mimicked it. But there's a lot of people out there that don't want to build. They don't have that type thing. And again, these towers, one day maybe I'll sell. First of all, I'm working on something in my head where I will come and build a tower all set up and ready to poke a plant in. And I got to come up with a price like that with fencing. I think with fencing, they start to look aesthetically pleasing. Do you know what I'm saying? What do I got here? Oh, I got 20%. Luckily, I have a plug here that I could tie in, right? Like this. I don't know why I didn't plug this in earlier, but I'm going to plug it in right now. Boom. Close. All right. And I'm still going. Let's see here. It's funny, Lisa. I know, me too. Yeah, Mike. Yeah, me too. I feel the same way. And to think you've been doing it so long. You know, Lisa, I gave a class at the Plainville Senior Center one time on my fermenting system. It was pretty exciting. I thought people would get excited about it. But they were all seniors because it was a senior center thing. So I hope to do more classes this year. I hope to get, you know, I haven't acted on a local level here in this small town because, you know, how small we are and word travels fast in this town. But we need to learn. All right, Mark, what are you patting around? Let me go get another bucket. I'll be back. So if you don't know it, right, I think those who've seen it, if you don't know it, that system in the way back, if you can disregard all the other mess there, that system in the way back, you don't have to have as many buckets. You can have just one pallet with 16, or you can have, like over there, I have 3, like I talked about earlier. It can expand and contract. Like this one here is like, I can get like 80 on here. And the beauty about these buckets too is they're aeration buckets. So you can, like I've stored, first of all, great nurseries for when you have these castings and the eggs can, the cocoons can hatch within them. And those are all the ones on this side. Those right there. Those 12 right there are all castings. Actually 16, because that other row is castings as well. I feel like I'm getting a ton of castings. I don't know if anybody, it seems like it's almost commercial. You know, somebody asked me how come we don't sell your worms? And I say to myself, I don't think I have enough to sell. If I sold them, I wouldn't have enough to break down my stuff. But I'd certainly, if I went and built a tower for somebody or did that would worm farm would come along with it. I mean, whatever price that I come up with my tower, that would be a part of it. I would be sharing my worms. I would be bringing a couple thousand worms with me and giving those part of it. But my system really is so easy. Anybody can do it. It takes nothing to get a fence and a roll, and like these grow bags that work fine enough. Of course, you lose your irrigation, which is not good, but you guys see that? Oh, wait. I'll do a video on that thought with that. Let me see here. Hellman mayonnaise buckets? Ooh. Buckets? 5-gallon buckets? With lids? 5-gallon buckets with lids. Is that what you're saying? The mayonnaise ones? Let's, another one. Look at these. Were all pumpkin. This was a liquidy one too. I got to make sure I go and clean all these buckets out by the end. I won't do it with this video going. A lot of springtails because it was wet. But are you saying, yes, 5-gallon pails with lids, Lisa? Lids included. Nice. Oh my God. Well, again, just FYI, what am I showing here? Where's my bucket? You know, it's Gatorade bottles. All tons. I was getting my Gatorade bottles at the park, at the ballpark, where they're drinking, they throw. There's a great entry holes. And I use these here. These ones I use for these little aeration holes. You can use for basil, mint, and I have 24 holes in there for when I do that, and it looks amazing. I don't know if you've seen some of those pictures, but if we could get, you know, if you can get those buckets, let me, let's see here. Nice. Yeah, well, get a bunch of them. We'll make a couple of these towers that I have here. These towers, are great for leafy greens, just like the Tower Garden is good for leafy greens for the most part. They do grow tomatoes and stuff, but nobody tells you how hard it is to grow those. Whereas one thing about these buckets, and I have a ton of them too, that I got at the restaurant right by my house, not Sliders, Lisa, but the other one. J. Timothy's. I'll just say it, J. Timothy's. I don't care. I haven't been to that dumpster in so long. The story goes, I used to go drop my kids off at high school and raid that dumpster. And every time I'd find 10, sometimes 20 buckets at a time, because they do a lot of buffalo wings, right, Lisa? You know. And they're a great restaurant. My family loves it. We spent a lot of time there. But their ecological footprint, like many restaurants, is just horrible. As they make a ton of money, look at that right there. That doesn't seem to bother them. Like all these businesses and corporations, right? They make a ton of money, but they don't care about their ecological footprint. Ecological footprint. As long as they're paying that dumpster cost, they figure they've done their part. It's not their problem. I paid somebody to deal with my trash, take it away. And the truth of it is, not just they, all of us are creating a disaster in the making by doing that. Now, if you could separate your organics, which could easily be done in restaurants. This is a fresh couple rolls that these worms are really working on. I didn't add a fresh roll to this one, did I? I'm not going to, because there's enough fresh in there. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm rambling on, but I just feel we have solutions to our global problems that could easily be fixed tomorrow. But it's not going to, because even the world, as much as they say, all the food shortages and stuff like that, even them, they're not ready. Everybody's going the soyless route. And because that's where you get paid. We'll see. That'll change if I have anything to do with it. But anyway, I'm rambling on. Let me see what we got here. Question. Plastic, not trash. It's permanent. Right. Yeah, you know what they did with those buckets, Lisa? I got the name of the dumpster when they came to pick that dumpster up. Yeah, I called them up. I won't say their name. You know which one I'm talking about. And they brought it to all that plastic, all those containers that really could be used again to store something else, especially if on a farm. I mean, I turn containers into grow containers out of everything, but they incinerate it. It goes and it just is burned. And I says, oh my God, where's that toxic? Where's that smoke going? And granted, they have a ton of filtration system, but then where do those filters go? It's just stupid. I got 2 more I'm going to be opening up. And then I'll close shop. And at least I'll send you that link to Clubhouse. It's a pretty new app, really. The Clubhouse is a pretty new app. Now it used to be you had to be invited to get on, but now I think anybody can. It used to be just for Apple phones, but now Androids are allowed. So a lot of people, it's a great place to just talk about stuff on a global scale. But as we know, we got to start on a local scale. This one looks good too. I'm going slower now. Oh, I don't know why. That smells good too. Yeah, I hear you. Me either. Yeah, they're just all bought by these guys. They're all bought by... Here, look at me saying, I won't either, but then we go on it. Yeah, it's too bad. The beauty... Here's the funny thing about today's technology. And we've got the internet. Everybody's got a social security number, a way to identify everybody. We don't have to send anybody to Washington anymore to speak for us. We can set up, especially with America, the way it's set up, we have a right to change, overhaul it altogether. I know people don't want to hear this because They think this is the way it needs to be, but we have a right to overhaul it if our system isn't working. And I think many of us would agree our system hasn't been working for a very long time. Ever since I was a kid, the people they put in front of us are just ridiculous. Actors and, all kinds, all the way back since I was a kid. All the people they put in front of us. And of course, when you do get somebody possibly good, they shoot them, they kill them. It's like, I don't know. All I know is they're loving this one. This is 2 rolls together. And this is weeds. Weeds? No, let's see now. Yeah, whatever. Boom, boom. I gotta get another bin. Put that like that. Boom. Eventually, it all turns to castings. Again, 8 weeks, I think, is it, but maybe a little more than that. 8 weeks, and then you put it in your nursery to hatch those babies, and then they break it down a little bit. They break it down to a sellable product, I think. Okay, there. Get another bucket right here. Well, I want to thank Lisa and Michael for hanging out with me today. Again, I just did this live video. What the heck? Maybe I'll keep one of them up. Like this one wasn't that bad. I didn't get too out of hand like I've been known to do. I'll keep this public, and if people want to know what you have to do to be, it's just repetition with this. Repetition, and I'm not sure if it's the best way to do vermiculture on a residential scale. But, and I don't know if I'm doing it, as long as I've been doing it, because I came up with it and I want it to work so bad. But I do get a lot of castings from it. And it is a system. One thing many worm people, I've been yet to hear somebody say that it's, you're just doing regular farming, worm farming. It's different in the sense that you pack it and leave it. You don't have to mess with it. And I know that can be said probably with any composting bin, right? You leave it. But this is a bucket. It's tight space. One goes on top of each other. All the liquid goes to one place. So you're not losing anything. And of course that liquid is the same as my slurry. That gets added to my leaf pile, my outside leaf pile. My say bay. Get that one. Look at that little world. They're loving it. And they are loving it, and they're looking beautiful right in there. These guys. Yeah, see, I'm not going to have to add any worms to any of these. And you should see, by the time I get to the bottom, we won't go that far in the video, but when I do, because it takes a lot of time, I use the light method when I get my castings, and I slowly take off the top. Then when I get to the very bottom, I'll end up putting that stuff in a bucket by evening so I can shut this light off and not leave it on all night. And then I'll just put a screen over the bucket, and then I'll deal with those massive amounts of worms that are in the bucket when I start packing things with new material. If you know what I mean. Let me get some more fresh rolls in here. Fresh rolls. But first, I'm going to throw some of this down here, you guys. Just because there's enough moisture in that older material that they're already living in. It's a guessing game. And you know what? The only way you can learn about it, I think, is watching somebody do it. A class of some kind. But then that could be a time-consuming class. So that's what this is, guys and girls. When I say guys, of course, everybody knows I mean girls too, right? I should say people, because these days we have to be very correct. Not my generation, for the most part, I don't think. Most of us I'm not going to go there. Don't go there, Mark. Then you're not going to be able to put it on public. You'll have to keep it in private. That was all castings for the most part, I think, on that one. This is all castings. Now, when I do put all new material in here, I'll add some of these castings to that as well. Some of these finished castings. Like I see, that was a steak bone. That one hasn't broken down for a long time. I don't put too many steak bones in there. I don't get too many, and I don't put too many. Let me go get the last bucket, everybody. My last one will be 16. And then I'll clean all these other buckets out. And I'll date all the ones. I'll clean all those other buckets out. I'll date them all for another month. Can you believe it? Next month it's going to be 2/2/22. That'll be kind of cool. Oh, let me take this like this off here. Like this. So when I see you say, boom. So we had one very bad bucket at the very beginning where you saw a couple of the worms did not look so good. And that was my concern when I posted saying I was going to have an open. That's my concern. It's like, but I've been doing pretty good. And what am I saying? After like 7 years of doing it this way, when the first years, again, I've had some die-outs. Oh my God, the mistakes I made, I was like so naive. Look at this, all liquid in this thing. I don't know why that is. But that drain thing must have clogged right here. So water couldn't get in. Very, very, very anaerobic smell. But I gotta tell you, the worms look pretty darn good. They look really good and happy. Let's check the bottom ones out. Yeah, they look fine. Look at that. Sometimes anaerobic, they do good in. I don't like it. It's not good. But sometimes, look at these, look happy enough. Popcorn. The secret is to add, let me put some on. The secret is to add your material that's already been worked on and then add only a few new composting rolls. And that's how I can get rid of mine. Instead of packing it purely fresh, I should have, this compost right here should be all gone when I'm packing these along with this material. But I got another full 6-gallon bucket of compost too that you saw at the beginning of this. That's gonna be processed. All right, let's see. I'm gonna put a couple rolls in here again. After adding some of this. Okay. Add just a little bit more not Duff Muck. I'm gonna add some lime in my little food. That like that. Alrighty then. One more. Plainville. That's so funny. Lisa, what are the chances of that? And I've been following you for a little bit, I think, right? And I didn't know that. I knew you were from Connecticut. There's a girl on Clubhouse that's from Connecticut, and I think she is further away from me, towards New Haven or towards New York more. So maybe I was thinking that's you. You get confused with the internet people, you know? Sometimes, at least I do. Low battery, why is that? 10%, why is that? I'm going to lose everybody. Wait a minute, yeah. Come on, isn't it? I'm plugging it in. Let me try this end here. Go like this, and like this. Hopefully that worked. If it dies out, guys, sorry, thanks for being here. I don't think it will. It shouldn't. because I am plugged in, but I don't see it saying it's charged. And I don't want to hit the X because it'll end. We're almost ready to close it out anyway. So if it cuts out, I'm sorry. I don't know if it'll upload if it does. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. Let's see here. No such thing as mistakes, just something that has a chance to be done different, but it's so true. It's called learning and adapting. Very good, Michael. Totally. Totally. Oh, don't you know you can't? Oh, don't you know you can't say guy or girl anymore? It's against the law. Pretty soon we won't even be able to see humans because it's just totally. That's so funny. Slowly trucking my bins for harvest. Yeah, well, Lisa. Oh yeah, tomorrow, huh? That's coming. Yeah, Lisa, we got a lot to do this summer. I can't wait to set you up if you want to with some of those buckets. You know, and I've got a ton still in my basement on the other side over there that I've had. But yeah, I look forward to making some towers and seeing what you think of growing vertically like that. That'd be great. Maybe we can get something going here in our little town. Maybe we could figure out a way to make a buck out of it all, you know? Some good money. Let's see. Oh, yes, I'm looking forward to getting together and getting my system up and doing some teaching too. Yeah, that'd be great. Dallas Ave. Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah. I'm over by Paderewski Park. Rockwell Avenue. I don't like to say my address, but I said yours, so I might as well say mine. Yeah, oh my God. So maybe I'll keep this one private after I've given my address. But now, yeah, I'm very close. Right next to the Y. I need a 55-gallon drum, but I haven't been able to get one yet. I got one for you. I got a couple of them for you that you can have. So don't buy them. I got mine. You know where I got mine? I got mine from a guy who was giving a bunch of them free. And I had to, but I don't have a truck. I had to rent a U-Haul. I got like 30 of them that I've been doing different projects with. But yeah, I got a couple for you. Yeah, if you want to go the 55-gallon drum route, that's a good route to go because there's more space. Again, these buckets, I've done tomatoes. They've done great. Cherry tomatoes, I put 9 cherry tomatoes in a bucket one year, and it did amazing. And my sister always keeps telling me, Mark, that's too much. It's too much. And, you know, you don't know until you experiment with it because the way these inner buckets are designed, you know, the plants, when they get root bound, they don't go around in circle. They just kind of get this because there's aeration at the bottom there. So she contends that if I planted 2, maybe, I'd still get more tomatoes than planting 9. So she's got a lot of good points, especially when you're talking about beef tomatoes. But a 55-gallon drum is better because you can fit a lot. I've done some great things with a 55-gallon drum. A lot of girth there. Yeah, right. And there's a fine line. And that's all part of the experiment, right? But the beauty about these pallets or these cylinder fence ones, it's all soil. For the most part, there's no plastic except the plastic reservoir underneath. And if that even becomes a problem on a commercial scale, we can use terracotta. You know, it'll be a little heavier. But that's that. If anybody sees that, I'm available for hire to travel anywhere. Hartford would be nice, and build some of these towers. You know, my time. You gotta get paid for the time, of course. But for the most part, the material is all stuff we can get free. Stop it from going to the landfill. Facebook is where I keep my eye open for 55-gallon drums. And in fact, I've seen some on Facebook. There's a person selling them for $10 right now. 55-gallon drums. And I'll send you those links too for that. You know, I used to have a big van and a truck. And I don't know if this is by design or what. But now I just have a small electric car. And it makes me wonder if that's by design. I'm just teasing my wife with that thought. because now I can't pick up as much stuff. And that's probably a good thing when we're supposed to start consolidating at our age, supposed to start consolidating. But if I had a truck or a van, oh my God, I'd be crazy. All the stuff I see on the side of the road free, I have to think twice now. Otherwise, I usually just stop and pick it up and keep it in the backyard for another 10 years and then not figure out something to do with it. But I can't let it go to the landfill because it does have value. I just haven't got to that point yet with whatever it is. Imagine. That's crazy, Mark. You know, it's not just me. It runs in my family. My father, my grandfather, my twin brother, Mike, my sister, my sisters. You know, sometimes they say, Mark, you got to stop collecting stuff. And then they'll come to my house and say, oh, where'd you get that? Can I have that? Let's see. Yeah, electric vehicles, I do realize on a lot of levels. I don't know which link you're going to say, but I understand why they're not necessarily the best for our ecology, for sure. I do get that. I know all the arguments with that one. But nothing like an electric vehicle to drive in. Oh my God, it's an amazing ride. It's just amazing. The pickup, to not have to go and get gas. You know, I usually, we've been plugging it in at the house these days because it's harder and harder to find a charging station. But you know, Lisa, GE has that charging station we used to use. So we were getting charging for free. I mean, I say free for us, but somebody had to pay for the electricity, right? And we know that electricity is made through, you know, the different, you know, whether it's nuclear or whatever. So that's, and you know, it's not necessarily, right now anyway, as we master the technology, it's not really that ecologically friendly, a lot of people will say, but one day it will be. And we have to experiment. You have to experiment with it. But I do know the negative parts of driving with them and why they can suck up, why they could be worse with the lithium batteries and how those aren't very good for the environment, mining lithium, right? Plastic, I don't know how you got in here. Guess I'm going to close this video. I got my buckets. I still got to clean these out. My vision, you know, my vision is, first of all, I'm all about technology and sharing cars, sharing vehicles. You know, when we come to the self-driving car, which is gonna happen in my lifetime, self-driving cars. You got this car, when you need it, comes to you, and you get in it and you go, especially around here. But if we had a lane just for bikes, you know, I would think nothing of biking to Southington or around town to go get my stuff. And here, Lisa knows, here in my town, Plainville, we have this awesome bike route that can take us all the way from Plainville to Simsbury, and I can go shopping there. I can go shopping anywhere on that side. And when Southington, the next town over this way, connects, we'll be able to go anywhere, endless, using that trail to go shopping and stuff like that. And no doubt I'll be taking advantage of it, like we've been taking advantage of the new bus lane. My wife was taking the bus many times, loving that bus lane, the 104, 204, something like that. Let me see here. Electric vehicles are going to be out of resources far quicker than fossil fuel vehicles, and the amount of people dying just to get the battery resource. Yeah, totally. I hear the stories with it. It sucks. I hear we're improving. We're getting more improved. It sucks, that part of it. That slave labor once again. Yeah, Lisa, I know exactly what you're saying on that. Totally. But they're working on other hydrogen type batteries. I know we've been talking about this for many years, right? Or that carburetor that when we were kids, we heard about a carburetor car that went like 300 miles on a gallon of gas or a tank of gas, a gallon of gas. It went forever, right? And then all of a sudden, somebody bought that patent. And then there's people who were riding around in hydrogen cars. But for some reason, nobody's going that route. I don't like the lithium thing. That's the same with our phones too, that lithium. But I was looking into, not looking at, I have heard that is, in Clubhouse, again, Lisa, is where I get a lot of my information, because there's a lot of people passionate about electric cars, and those arguments come up all the time in those rooms, and they're very valid arguments. And it sucks. It truly does suck. But again, it's a great ride. I can't believe it. It's a wonderful ride, and it doesn't have any gas that you have to worry about. And we've had ours for probably, I think we're going on almost 5 years. We're going on it with never having to bring it to the shop yet, because there's less mechanical parts, right? So we have to experiment with stuff, and too bad. I think Elon Musk is working on a battery that's going to be even better. That's not going to require so much lithium. Is my understanding. And until people catch up, first of all, the reason why nobody's going, the free energy route, is because all these people who would invest in it, it's very hard to get a good return for your money if you invest in it, in free energies, right? Nobody wants to invent a generator, a quiet generator that could sit in any person's backyard and run the house. Can you imagine that day when you have a generator that could heat your house? For myself, I don't necessarily need air conditioner because I have a body of water I could jump in to do that. But if you did need air, if that little generator that ran on some kind of magnetic, whatever the heck it could run on, that was free, and no doubt that technology could be there if people would invest the money into it. But of course, nobody's going to invest their money into something they're not going to get a return on. Really? Yeah, I'll look at that one. Yeah, you got to send me that link, Lisa, on back channel me, as they say, or on Facebook Messenger, or my email is evegrowing@comcast.net. But I would definitely like to know that. Yeah, that's too bad. I don't like that. Jeez, crow. But again, the ride is amazing. And what else? I think I'm going to close this video out. I'm going to pack it with some more composting, fresh composting, and then we'll be done. That's a lot of compost right there. Ooh. I'm going to put this whole darn bucket in and think nothing of it right now. And so I'll leave a little for this particular bucket. Since it's my last one, I'll leave a little bit so I can get the remainder in here. And then a lot of the worms will go to the bottom, and I'll just scoop up a whole handful of them. And put them there. Actually, I won't be able to put all this compost in there. The rest of it that's in there, I'll turn it into composting bowls, which are great for my planters, because my dog has she did still smell it. She smells one little thing in my planter, and she's going to dig in it. It sucks. She's a standard poodle. She's got a great nose. Not fun at all. Again, all this is ready to go into a tower, or not just a tower. You could put it into a garden raised bed or something like that, or plant it next to a plant if you must grow horizontally. I don't know who would grow horizontally when you realize what you can do growing vertically using soil, how easy it is. And Again, you add that mobile aspect, especially for those of you who grow those exotic plants, you know what I'm talking about, to get them out of the way. Have them out in your yard in the sun, and then at night you bring them into your garage or your shed, right? And that's the same is true with tomatoes. I've gotten a great longer season. You know, once that cold comes in late August, early September, sometimes it's enough to stop all the growth to all your plants you have. But if you can, that morning cold, if you could just get past that morning cold and bring it into the garage or a shed, then it warms up by 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. It warms up nice. Roll it out there and your tomatoes could get a little bit of a longer. Tell me again the name of the audio show. You can email me that. All right, I will. Yeah. It's Clubhouse. It's called Clubhouse. Great fun. Great for every interest you have in your life, whether it's gardening, whatever your interest is, there's a group there. People are really, it's a great app for getting together and having some serious conversations. Fun. All right. Yeah, I hear you with this whole batteries thing. I do hear you. You know, we did get the cars. First of all, I was always fascinated with electric cars. And riding them is so much better than a gas car. It's like driving something that just has plenty of pickup speed right away. You don't have to worry about the carburetor kicking or the pistons or anything like that. I like it for that reason. I don't like it from what I'm hearing from you on this. And I've heard it before, not to this level, where lithium is that bad and polluting everything as they're mining it. I haven't heard that, which sucks. Hey, I'm willing to ride a bike, like I was saying. And they've got some cool bikes that are enclosed like a little car that I wouldn't mind doing that. You're getting your exercise and you're getting to your place you want to be. Especially if we don't have to drive so far to work. And that's a lot of what's happening with COVID, I feel. There's a lot of positive. Like, it's almost deliberate. It's almost like there's some kind of a divine energy that's just saying, listen, you guys aren't getting it right fast enough. I'm going to have to do this or that to get you guys woken up. I'm going to have to send a plague down. Now you're getting religious. All right, guys, we're closing up. Lisa and Michael, thank you for hanging with me as I did my work here. Okay, it's Clubhouse. What else we got here? I guess I'm going to close it out. How long have we gone? 173 minutes and 33 seconds. What else did I want to talk about on it? We already talked about how all the liquid goes to one place. I'll date the ones that we just did today. I'll clean these all out. This mint here, I haven't even had, it's been down in the basement. It's got a couple fluorescent 12 T12 lights. I got my tomatoes started in here. That just came up. I mean, I stuffed it in there. Whatever. Mint for your teas all day long. All right, guys and girls, Michael, Lisa, we're going to be talking shortly. We're going to for the spring. I've got 55-gallon drums for you. I'll email you that Clubhouse link, and I'm psyched you live so close and you're so passionate about these reds, and you've been passionate about it since the 80s. Good for you. I wish I knew that. I wish I knew then what I know now. Do you know what I mean? I totally wish that. But it comes when it comes. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. I'm hanging up. Boom.